we had someone we know. They do their own creative stuff online. Kevin, not Kevin in the other room right here, but Kevin. I don't know if he wants me to say his last name. I'm always paranoid of people's privacy. Kevin POTUS, is that how you say his name?
Yeah, I don't think Kevin minds. Kevin was very, very, upfront with his personality on his Thought Cops podcast for years, where we got to know them. But yeah, now he's doing stuff with Palette Swap.
Yeah. So he actually a while back submitted some ideas. Like, I don't know if you are down for some video ideas.
Yeah.
I would love to pitch you some if you ever want. I was like, okay, cool. And one of the ideas was just, hey, did you see that video the other day of this guy who had a flying machine?
This just had come out.
This really was a thing
video.
that happened. A guy had I guess this is a thing you could buy. This flying machine you could actually like.
I've known dudes in Nebraska that have built kits and shit like this.
Yeah, I didn't know this was a thing.
Trisha's dad has a fucking airplane in his backyard in San Diego.
Oh my
that he's parted out and built out of, like mail order kit,
Yeah.
But this glider is fucking huge. But this little thing that this guy bought was some kind of like fan paraglider powered.
Big fan and and like a big parachute or something like that.
So you can get this shit and probably just order it offline, build it in your backyard.
Yeah, but that video was rough. Let me tell you, it's just a guy. Oh wow, I'm up here. Oh, and then they get tangled. Oh shit! Like just the blood curdling scream.
He
just plops on the ground.
It happens so fast.
But the fact that there's like 3 angles of it is like
that was the best. He had so many GoPros on this piece.
Oh my god.
Yeah. So you got it from every angle.
Piece of shit.
It was. Well, it clearly didn't do what it was supposed to do. So anyway, so one of the ideas Kevin submitted was just, I'm just picturing that video, but what if it was a steampunk guy, like a steampunk fan?
Yeah.
And then he's trying to keep in character through the suffering, and it was like, we were just immediately laughing. Like, that's a funny idea.
Yeah.
So
steampunk guy in pain is like instantly, anything bad happens to the steampunk guy, you're like,
you're laughing.
Yeah, you deserve it.
So he wrote a more fleshed out version of that, and then we kind of took that and did our spin on it. And then the video came out. And I thought that was really, really funny. I do, whenever, what am I trying to say? I think something that has been part of our thing that we do here at Mega64 for years is we will parody really obscure things.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But I will say, I never feel like you need to see what we're making fun of to enjoy that video.
Yeah.
Like I prefer putting something out where you go, why did you do that? Because I always, when we do something like this and people find out, oh, they were parodying something, I will get messages later that are like, you should have linked to the original. I didn't know what the fuck was happening here. And I kind of, I've said this decades ago, but I reject that. I don't think you do need to see. I think it's okay that a video is weird. And if you find out later we were sending something up, then fine. But to me, I look back at like old Looney Tunes where they would always have a guy talking like this. Hello.
Oh yeah.
Oh yes, master. Yes. And
that
it was like
a parody of an parody of an actual guy.
Yeah, it was parodying an actor. I forget his name.
The
He was
dude
in
from
like Frankenstein and stuff.
Yeah.
You know,
Casablanca.
But
Peter
I didn't
Lorre,
know
yeah.
Peter Lorre. Yeah, and I didn't know who that was parodying. It was just a weird guy.
Same,
and then
yeah.
found out later it was
Same.
And to me, I treat it the same way. I don't think you need to.
No, it didn't ruin it as a kid.
Yeah,
I liked that character.
Exactly. I always
showing
thought it
up.
was fucking funny whenever
this
it's like
weird
they're
guy.
doing that again. That was just funny to me. So I stand by. I don't think you ever need to see the original. Unless we say something about it, like watch this first. But that wasn't the intention behind it. To me, it could be weird on its own. Steampunk guy eats shit. Is just funny. And apparently the guy who the original incident happened to saw the video and commented.
I love that he had a good sense of humor.
Yeah.
And that also we checked. The only way we could get Sean to work on something like this was to make sure he did not die.
Right.
Because I think that was like the first
Yeah.
question. We watched the
Yeah.
video and Sean's like, is he alive?
Yeah.
because if not, we're
Yeah.
not doing.
We
And it's like,
can't
no,
do
he's
it.
okay, he's fine.
Yeah. But yeah, just to go back to that, this goes all the way back. Kind of parodying something that is really like kind of just obscure and not necessarily in the full lexicon is something we've done back to Timbo. Our Timbo video in 2006 was specifically parodying a street fight that we watched.
True.
But again, I remember this happening back then in 2006. It was like, why would you parody something so obscure? People feel like they're not in on it, but it's like, yeah, you don't need to be in on it. It's fine. You could just enjoy it as a weird video, and that's totally okay. So anyway, that's just my take.
Dude,
my take on that. But
Timbo is a parody of Kimbo Slice, who is deceased now.
Yeah.
I never thought that would have happened, but
Right?
yeah, those street fight videos. Yeah. Back then, it just didn't matter. Like, you didn't have to explain yourself. I don't know why our audience looks for that now.
Well, I think it's always been that way. You always want to be on the inside of a.
I guess.
of
Yeah,
an
that's
in
true.
joke,
That's
but
true.
To me, that's not. It's the in joke is not the thing. It's just the video, but that's okay. But I was gonna say, the one thing I was super proud of is my worry was that we were talking about like how do we make it like Derek's flying? How are we gonna like? I just felt like the more real the video played, the better.
Mm-hmm.
I felt like if it was just a wacky green screen video, it wasn't going to be that good. It was like, no, it should feel like this guy actually got fucked up and played as straight as possible, kind of. And that was the part I was most proud of. Is we were talking green screen, but it's like, well, let's try. Maybe what should we do? And it was like, okay, we shot with our friend Danny came out and did drone footage for us.
Yeah.
And then we just green screened Derek but outside. Like we brought the
Yeah.
green screen gear outside, try to make sure the sun was kind of the same direction and all that stuff. And I thought that looked great.
It looks so
like,
good.
I wasn't watching it going, yeah, stupid green screen video. It felt like, did he actually go? It looked real enough that I was happy with it.
Yeah.
That was pretty.
That
stoked.
was tricky, I think, because we have such a nice green screen just right to the right of me here, and man, it's got such a beautiful curve, and we use this for most of our stuff. But this was like, okay, set up 2 of our portable green screens because one isn't big enough.
Yeah.
And it's the wind blowing. It's kind of wrinkly. It's like, fuck, is this gonna work? And that was difficult, I think, just to get all of that shit outside.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
The flying contraption, that is. But that came off, I thought.
Oh, it looks so good.
I was really impressed with that.
So the one thing the last thing I want to bring up about it, again, it was fun. You see it though; it's a relatively simple video, but it was a lot of fun to shoot it. And again, there was no point in doing this; it's just funny. But one thing that we had to kind of fake a little bit was when Derek falls down. When we shot it out there. It's all audio from when he hit the ground, other than the blood curdling scream at the beginning. Everything else. He did that in real time. We didn't alter Derek's performance at all. There were hikers watching it happen and stuff like that. That was fine. But the scream was like, okay, we're gonna like run into trouble if he screams that loud for that long. We're not gonna be able to shoot this. So we'll add that audio later. Okay. Then we came back to the studio. Okay, where do you want to record that audio? It's like, well, if it's in a sound booth, it's not going to sound real. You got to do it outside to sound like we really did it outside. Let it be windy. Let it be whatever. We want it to sound real.
Yeah.
So Derek just stuck his head out the window up here. We have a rooftop out here, and we just stuck his head out. It's like, all right, I'm recording it with my phone. Let her rip. And then Derek, the master of screaming. Yeah. Ah! I mean, I can't even replicate the loudest thing you've ever heard in your life. And I'm telling you, there's a city street out here. And he silenced that shit. I mean, it was like,
God,
no one could see where that scream came from.
You're up on the roof.
Yeah.
So the second you sense that, as soon as he finished screaming. So then Sean immediately yells out, "He's fine. Everything's okay."
Oh, no.
which makes it sound
fine.
so much worse.
Everyone was
That's
like,
worse.
that sounded way worse.
Yeah.
Yeah, he did that. And everyone was like, what?
It's like, oh, the murderer's covering up for the kill he
Don't
just
worry, he's
did.
doing good. He's fine.
Don't look over here.
I mean, we're all just like,
Oh no.
don't look up here.
God.
We're all fine. Everything's fine. We're all
Yeah.
good here.
He's-
How are you?
He's on soloing.
I mean, it was
Oh.
just like, yeah, not suspicious at all.